We can continue from the last 2 days. In which format? It's a little bit up to you if you want. We can just keep on chanting Srila Prabhupada's glories, or if you have some specific questions, which are always, I can assure you, be in connection with Srila Prabhupada, you can also ask that. So it's up to you if you want. You have something specific?
What kept you going?
Huh?
What kept you going strong for all these years?
Strong, well, I would not use the word strong really. What kept me going at all these years, basically, I would say the inability to be enthusiastic over much of anything else as to try to do something which can maybe please Srila Prabhupada. Now, I would be very dishonest if I would say that my devotional service was a pure devotional service, especially in the line of Grihastha, family man. It's actually sometimes Grihastha ashrama is called a mixed ashrama. Because naturally, as Srila Prabhupada himself, you will be exposed to, you have to divide your service. Somebody may say, well, service to the wife, service to the children, sometimes service to the community. This was a big issue in America, a big issue. How much service you commit to your community. And while living in a certain environment, you find yourself that you serve people who are not devotees. You serve them in a way which cannot be defined as Krishna consciousness, really. Grihastha ashrama is full of this kind of compromises. You have to do the needful. Yeah? So what keeps one going throughout such a situation is always the meditation about the mission of the spiritual master. I was fortunate because I was raised from the first day I joined Hare Krishna movement that there is no other purpose in my life as to serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Outside of that, I don't have any other purpose. I had to encounter on the way my conditioning. Yeah? I had to face the fact that it's not what I want to do will dominate my direction, but what I must to do. Yeah? And that connects one to one's varna, the quality of this body, which immediately defines the ashrama. Yeah? Originally in a Vedic culture, there was, the classical training was brahmacharya, but not necessarily for everybody. Sannyas anyway. Sannyas was only for Brahminical persons. Kshatriyas could do that sometimes. We find Pandavas ultimately taking sannyas, but special kind of sannyas. They walk north, and one after another fall dead. That's a real renunciation. It takes quite a determination just to walk, no drinking, no eating, nothing, until you fall dead. But Kshatriyas can do that. They like challenge. Vaishya for sure will stop on the way and get a drink, And Shudra will not even start walk because he will go, so much walking. Can't I die sitting? Why shall I walk? Yeah? So that one has to face. And I think it's for everybody. We all have to face the fact that we have this body. First information we get in Krishna consciousness, we are not this body. Now we spoke today, and I will again come to the same point about that. This is it took me some time to get to that point. How easy devotees befool themselves by saying, well, I'm not this body, yeah. And I'm living in a world which is of illusory nature. This body is actually illusion. It's Maya. Maya means that what it's not. And this nature around us, so illusion. When this was told to Prabhupada on one morning walk, Prabhupada got furious. He got angry. He told to this young brahmachari, how can you say this? How can you say this is all illusion here? And the brahmachari was shouting, well, this is what Prabhupada you are saying. That what is this not? It's Maya. Prabhupada said, I didn't say that. I said that you foolishness to try to enjoy this forever and your consciousness being totally addicted to this body which is temporary, that's illusion. That's Maya. Otherwise, you want to say that this body is not existing. That's what is not Maya. Well, I will slap you and you will see how you feel like. Don't complain, it's all illusion. Prabhupada didn't say that, but that's the consequential thinking. He said, everything around us is real. Why? Because it's Krishna's creation. You think Krishna makes a joke? Some piece of smoke and he goes, and he goes, all joke. Krishna doesn't make any jokes. This is Krishna's creation and it has a purpose. It's a serious creation. Prabhupada said what I said, it's temporary. And you try to enjoy it eternally. And that's what the illusion is. That's Maya. This is a very essential point. That divides devotee from a Mayavadi. Because Mayavadi said this philosophy that this is all Maya. You are Maya too, you know. It's just nothing. It doesn't have any meaning, it doesn't carry any, there's no value really. Existentialistic philosophy is also derived from that, you know. It's all just a dream, you know. There's lots of literature was written, you know. It's actually based on frustration. We tried to enjoy it forever and it didn't work, so we declare it illusory. No, it's us. It's our illusion which is the Maya. Otherwise, this is all Krishna's creation and it's amazing. And Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't say, I am Maya this, I am Maya that, I am Maya that. He says, no. Amongst the fish, I'm shark. I'm the sun, I'm the moon. You know, I'm the strong of the strong ones. Yeah? I am the inspiration of the inspired ones. And actually, I am life in all the living. Well, that's what we can see all the time, isn't it? You can touch it, and you can see it. You can swim in an ocean and there's a shark. Well, that's Krishna coming. You know? So, how can you say this is Maya? Then Krishna says, this is me. You know? Krishna says, this is me, and you go, this is Maya. It's actually very insulting to say such a thing to Krishna's creation. It's very offensive. Prabhupada was furious when such a philosophy came up. Yeah? And it was all created by chance, somehow. Prabhupada said, by chance I will slap you in the face immediately. You go, why did you slap me? You said, well, it was just a chance. My hand was going, you know, chance. And now I will kick you, also by chance. You kicked me! It was by chance. My foot is dangling like this and pop! Don't by chance. This is so insulting to the nature of the soul. Because soul is full of desire, full of knowledge, and full of bliss, originally. In the material world, it gets twisted by the presence of the body. The consciousness is changing as a pure water falls down from the sky, falling into earth, becomes mud. But mud is also water. You can extract again water from mud when you filter it. But it's polluted, it's mixed with water, with mud. It's not pure. So Krishna consciousness means it's a filtering process to filter the consciousness back to the original understanding and perception, spiritual perception. This is Krishna's creation. It's amazing. Oh, he was driving in India on a train, and they put him in a special compartment. Actually, there was a situation. One chief of the local railways got so fascinated by Prabhupada that actually he reserved the whole train for me. There was a whole train full of devotees going. Whole wagon, at least, just for devotees. He said, we will put an extra wagon on a train for Swamiji and his followers. So, anyway, Prabhupada was sitting on a train. They put him in that compartment, and because in India it's very hot and this. So they have these shades on the windows. This simple roller, that system? It's like a roller. You push down, and you push a little bit and it stays. And you push a little bit and it goes up. You know that mechanism. Yeah. You push it down and it goes up. So Prabhupada went to the roller and he was going and a few times. And the devotees were like, Prabhupada, there's something wrong with it? Shall we fix it? I was like, no. It functions completely okay. I was just fascinated how Krishna gave the intelligence to this man to develop such a mechanism. That you normally don't see a roller like this. You see the pool and the shadow. There are so many things around us which require intelligence, which require somebody got an idea. Where is this intelligence coming from? Not from him. You can say, well, he learned something. Well, you can teach people, some people, and they still don't understand one damn thing. Yeah. That's called academic, that's called information. All school system is based on that. Children go to school, And even my own father told me once upon a time, he said, he was not that good in a school. He was just kind of, he had his own interest was music. And that was a very little what they taught in the school, music. Later on, he got immediately specialized. Therefore, Vedic knowledge means specialized knowledge, ultimately. There's some basic education, okay, but then specialized knowledge, very quickly, according to the quality of the man. And people learn very fast. When you really understand the quality of the man, they learn very fast. So, then he said, it was amazing later on how the best of my other students, best in mathematics and best. After the school, he said, they all vanished. Nobody became a very important person. They just vanished like merch in a society. And there were some very specific individuals who were not so good in school, and they actually assumed some significant position in the public. Why? Well, because I can go on. I don't want to go too much in detail into that, but it was practiced by devotees. I don't know, Croatia, the system, but in other countries, quite successfully, devotees protect their children from demoniac education system by making home education. Yeah? In Czech, like example, if you get sheltered by a school, regardless where the school is, some school in Czech Republic, there are even some schools which are favorable to devotees. So they go, yeah, he's going to our school, he's under our control. Czech school system, he's registered, but then you can teach children at home. That works for the basics too, up to 9th grade. Then you are anyway finished, you did what you had to do, and then it's up to you, whatever you learn. So devotees protect their children like this. And in America, it's also because it's a vast country, people live in very remote locations, where sometimes even the children would have a hard time to go to school. but they also have a home education. And it was proven and seen that children being educated in this are much more stronger and much more capable to assume new information, work with it, like children coming from the ordinary schools, who are just, going every day, learning, repeating. If you want to get really stupidified, you can learn, you can give a basic education to a child from internet. Why? Because it's just copying. That's not interactive really. It seems like it's interactive. No, it's not. It's not individual. And Vedic education is very personal. You see exactly. There's experienced people who go, this boy doesn't need to learn some sophisticated stuff. It's a simple boy. But he can be very good in a certain field. That's sometimes right away the point of birth is defined. But you have to be very expert for that. The quality of a man. And then you educate along that. It will anyway turn out this way later on. There are so many people who make all kinds of, had a job just to make some money. But they are miserable. And they just do this thing and go home. But then there are people who have jobs who are really involved. They are interested that actually we can do it better and have suggestions how to do things. And, because it's really in the line of the interest. So Prabhupada said this is how actually we should educate our children, along the line of the quality of the child. So that's not Maya, sorry. But this is very personal, very individual. So this is a very deep misunderstanding. And you know where it comes from? From frustration. Everybody who came to Krishna consciousness and takes interest in Krishna must be somewhere to some degree frustrated. If you are not really disappointed or frustrated, well then you see any reason why should I be interested in Krishna consciousness. And of course some people come out of curiosity. What is this? Oh, okay, bye-bye. And they go again. But those who pick up Krishna consciousness in a serious way, they all have one thing in common. They are somewhat frustrated. They don't find the answers for the questions they have. Or they experience in their life some sort of pain, disappointed. The expectations were disappointed. And then they come to Krishna consciousness with the instinctively feeling, oh, that's the place where I can actually not be disappointed. That's generally how it is. Therefore you see new devotees, they are very enthusiastic usually and they go, wow, new taste, prasadam, wow. New way. Just from a social point of view, this movement is incredible. I mean, anybody coming in the door chanting, we go, Hare Krishna, come in, and immediately there's an open social exchange. He's chanting. We still don't know who it is, right? But there's immediately such a credit being extended because somebody is chanting. That doesn't happen in a Kama society. You try to walk in any place in a Kama society, they go, who is you? And then you have to make an introduction, hello, and I'm this and I'm that, and what are you? You are this and you are that. And it's still not very personal. Now in a Slavian countries, if I like to go to Slavian countries, the exchange is rather spontaneous. It really carries, it's not very deep. And I know it's often sentimental, but it carries a personal note. Like today we walked on the beach and, you know every second person there, and you go, hey, ooh, la la, hello, makes the atmosphere immediately so pleasant. Oh, they know each other here, okay, So this is actually a human society. Prabhupada said, I grew up like this. He said, we didn't have even a closed door. Everybody came in, and sit down, and yeah. So this fear of personal identity, this is the heavy conditioning of the conditioned soul. And where it's come from? From being disappointed, frustrated. hurt, deep hurt. You know, like for faith is something very precious. If you break somebody's trust or faith, he may forgive you, he may understand the circumstances around that which actually led to such a situation, but he will not forget. He will always know, you betrayed my trust, my faith. I have to say sorry, but Prabhupada said that if a woman gets once cheated, she cannot 100% trust a man all the time and again. There are exceptions, as always, but it's difficult. It's always the sword. When is the rascal coming out? You know? Prabhupada gave that example. But we are actually all like that. We all got cheated once upon a time, hurt, disappointed, and then we go, yeah, okay. But we always wait, when is it coming? You know? Yeah. And that mentality is leading to this negation. Some people say, oh, I don't trust anybody anymore. No. Everybody. I don't trust anybody. They package it sometimes in Krishna consciousness. I can say it very openly here. There's a certain class you may encounter already, that group called the Ritvik. And it seems like they are saying a nice thing. They say, only Prabhupada. Only Prabhupada can initiate people into Krishna consciousness. And we are initiating also, like Prabhupada, but on behalf of Prabhupada. Well, that's who said it should be differently. So far, so good. But they say, and nobody will initiate disciples. Then you ask yourself the first question, why are you initiating? No, this is a Ritvik initiation. But it's the same. It looks the same. People change the name. They follow the same. So you say, you are doing what? You are initiating, not initiating, what are you doing here? That's the first part of the cheating. And second of all, these rascals really claim that they have the right to forbid Krishna to empower anybody. There will be nobody in history of mankind, there will be nobody empowered. It's only Prabhupada. And the ultimate argument is, Prabhupada never said that. He said, I want all my disciples to become gurus. But that's what he wanted. It doesn't mean it can happen so easily. Because he also defined what the qualification of a guru is. Now whoever is serious and looks in himself goes, well, that's me. Like he said, guru must be a pure devotee. And then he said, they might be different kind of gurus. Yeah, they might be. But they cannot bring you to the platform of pure bhakti because there are some self not so pure. You can only bring somebody to the level you are at. But then you can do one thing, and it happened in history of Vaishnavism. When a guru is realizing, my disciple makes such a progress, I have such a nice disciple, and he is so enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness, but I cannot help him now. Then he delegates, he points to another guru, he goes, go to him. He can give you much more than I can give. That's possible. But otherwise, guru is one, same. Anyway, I don't want to go now into it. It can get very complicated and intricate. But this is just an example how people get cheated. Or people get cheated, my guru got in trouble. Sorry, but this is in ISKCON. We cannot hide the fact that some gurus got in trouble. You know, so you think, oh, my guru got in trouble. I want to have nothing to do anymore with Krishna consciousness. I saw disciples of a guru learning the fact in the morning that their guru is really in trouble. In the evening they were already drunk. That shocked me. That the guru got in trouble, I was going, well, you know, it's a heavy, heavy position. Maya really is focusing on you. You will be tested. But that the disciples who I served with, who were like Hari Bol and Jai and Vyasa Puja Ki Jai and that, And then he's, oh, Guru in trouble, boom. In the evening they were drunk. I was going, hey, wait a minute. Didn't you understand anything? Because we are not getting initiated into one Guru actually. We are getting initiated into the Guru Parampara, disciplic succession, into a process of bhakti. And basically Guru is just the assistant. And that's what Prabhupada showed us. Prabhupada never said, you know, I am the only one. Without me, the gates to Vaikuntha are closed. You know? He said, no, I will show you the path and I will assist you to get there. And it's your Krishna consciousness. You are responsible for your Krishna consciousness. But we couldn't hear it because Prabhupada was so amazing. We were going, Prabhupada is here, wonderful. And then suddenly, he wasn't here, present. And he was anyway not all the time everywhere present in his Vapu form, means his body. So we have to serve Vani. That's the mission. When you understand that this is the relationship, and this is actually what we shall do, then one is on the safe side. And that kept me going. And I was lucky. I met his personal servants, my godbrothers. They told me, you are lucky. You serve Prabhupada only standing on the street distributing books, serving his mission. Well, that you can do now too. But I woke up Prabhupada. I massaged Prabhupada. I served him personally like this. I cooked for him. You know what that means when he's not here anymore? You never had that experience. And it's a fact, I didn't. They said, you are lucky. Because you were right away trained to follow that long-lasting path. Vani can never be broken. This is eternal. There's such a feeling you have. You think, oh, I'm engaged in eternal process. It's quite amazing. In the material world, there are also processes, but they all stop or they get interrupted or they vanish. There's no more process. Oh, I follow this process. Where's the teacher? Gone. Where's the process? Also gone. When you are in Maya, it's always like that. You can ask, the leader, there's leaders for Varanasi. You go, but you were teaching last year like this. And he said, this is a process we should follow. Now you're changing the process. And the leader will go, well, I changed my mind, yeah. Leaving behind completely confused people. It happens even to very dominant personalities. Like I was a worshipper of a writer called Hermann Hesse. And all the hippies were reading that Siddhartha. Very esoterically oriented literature. So I was just, then I was thinking, I have to have a darshan of Mr. Hermann Hesse. I will go, I know he's living in Switzerland in a fancy house. And there was a whole pilgrimage going over. His hippies wanted to see Mr. Hermann Hesse. And they told me, no, that's not possible. There's no need to go there. I was going, why? He said, well, he went crazy. I was going, oh, my guru went crazy. Oh, well, And then I was thinking, if I read his books, will I also become crazy? I had a really far experience before I came to Krishna consciousness. I was investigating, about Aurobindo. I was going, there must be something transcendental about this man. So I was just, he had this whole town, Auroville, in India, full of spiritually motivated people and all this. I was going, well, I would like to go to see Auroville, and Aurobindo. I couldn't understand, actually. I opened his book, I couldn't understand one word. Because the man invented his own vocabulary, supra-consciousness and things like that. So I was thinking, I want to know more about him, but how do I find out? Then I found out he had a German translator, this major German translator of his works. And he lived in Heidelberg, very close to the temple. I already knew where the temple is. So I was thinking, I have to have a darshan with a translator. So I made an appointment. I came there. It was a small house. And he was a very friendly man, a little fatty man. Going, come in, very nice. And I came into his working room. It was full of pictures of Aurobindo and manuscripts, and it was like, I was going, wow. And I said, I read these books, but I really don't understand them. And then I realized he couldn't give me much of information because he was just translating them. He was not much understanding them himself. That dawned upon me. And I was like, yeah, but I tried to get some information from him. And he was trying to look very dignified. Yes, Aurobindo said this and that, but he couldn't give me any explanation. In the middle of the conversation, his wife came in. It was a typical German lady, older lady, coming with a plate with some cake and cookies and some tea, some tea and some cookies, And the man got immediately, I could see, he got immediately enlightened. So she put the cookies down, and he immediately was going for the cookies. And she said, no, that's not for you. That's for our guest. The doctor said you shouldn't eat any sugar. No cookies. And he was like, but I want my cookies. And she said, no cookies. And they had a whole bang, bang, bang in front of me. I was going, oh, here goes Aurobindo, The poor man was struggling to get his cookies. So I already knew, that's not so transcendental here. So I just went, it was on Sunday, I just went across the street, just around the block, and went to the temple for a Sunday feast. That was something much more substantial. So, so that was the end of my Aurobindo studies. I tried, to look around. But nobody could really give me clear answers. Nobody could answer my questions. And I was not alone. Many devotees came this way, who met Prabhupada finally, and he said, oh, finally I could talk to somebody. And he not only answered my questions, he even raised questions I could never ask myself. And Prabhupada said, what about? And then he gave an argument, Sometimes Prabhupada liked to play these mock fights. He said, what will you say when you meet a real communist? And everybody would look. What do you think when you meet a real Christian? And nobody got a really clear idea because, and then Prabhupada was a perfect communist. He was a perfect Christian. One devotee said, Christians, they don't even serve God. What do you mean I don't serve God? I go every Sunday to church, I'm praying. By the way, this is also in your books I heard, this is one of the ways to serve God, by prayer. That's what I'm doing. What do you mean I'm not serving God? The devotee couldn't answer anything. And then he said, yeah. And then one devotee, actually, he came up, but actually, you're a Christian. You don't follow even your own Bible. So I said, that's our point. No Bhagavad Gita. You don't follow even the Bible, even the Ten Commands, come on. Thou shalt not kill. And you are killing right and left, everything what comes in your way. You call yourself Christian? Prabhupada was clear on this. Communist, he was like, that was simple. It's all people's property. Prabhupada said, where are the people? Did you ever saw the people? I just see the property, very few control, but where's the people? Where's the people's property? What do you mean by that? Everything is people's property. Who are the people? Not you. You are not the people. And he's not also not the people. And he's not the people. The Communist Party is the people. And what is the Communist Party? It's just you guys, Nobody really exposed the whole thing. So it was so easy. In the presence of Prabhupada, everything became so simple. And we should not make it complicated again. Because Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is very simple for the simple ones. And very complicated for the complicated ones. So why do you complicate our lives? Just listen what Prabhupada is saying, it becomes so simple. The problem is that we have people coming around who are contaminated by the academic brainwashing that simple means primitive. Who said that? Prabhupada didn't say that. Who said this? Simple can be genius. Like mathematics, they work this way, you know that? Einstein wrote a formula on a board, this big, you know, that's it. And those who could understand were going, this is genius. It was this big. And we have in our Vedic scriptures, we have sutras. This is such an essential knowledge compressed that to understand that, of course you have to understand many things around it before you come to understand that. But the ultimate expression is simple. It's just like this. You know, Prabhupada defines sometimes complex words. You know how Prabhupada defined yoga? Yoga means 1 and 1 is 2. What is he talking about? Mathematics? What is it? He said, yeah. You, the soul, unite with Krishna. It's simple. That's yoga. And then there's other kinds of yoga as described. Yogas to put the body in such a position so even the mind is forced to cool down. There's physical, strategical, situations, asanas. You close halfway the eyes. If you close them completely, you may fall asleep. And just so you don't look at some sense objects and don't get diverted, you stay on the tip of your nose. So this is yoga. Because the goal, and this is understood by any bona fide yogi, is to control the senses. Prabhupada said, you want to all do that? Staring at the tip of your nose. Well, you'll become very happy, and how long you can do that? Try. Prabhupada was laughing about these yoga clubs. There were already many yoga clubs, Yeah. He said, 10 minutes yoga and a cigarette. Immediately. They cannot keep it up even 10 minutes, this thing. I mean, we saw it when somebody starts like chant Hare Krishna. That's what I realized. Just to chant the first round became a quite a thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And then Hare, and the mind was, I'm not going to do this. 108 times this nonsense? No. Me, the mind, will remember. My mind is a nostalgic being, Can you remember how you were bathing with your lover in Split? And you go, what has this to do with my chanting? And the mind doesn't care. It's like, oh. He's really an obstinate, arrogant fellow, and nostalgic. I remember. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj gave additional good advice how to treat the mind. He said, in the morning you beat him with a stick and in the evening you kick him with his shoes. No mercy on the mind. Because Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, if you don't control the mind, this will be your biggest enemy. Watch out for the mind. Because he can imagine anything. And when you listen to the mind, you go, well, maybe why not? And then the intelligence joins in and goes, that was a good idea. I like it. I agree. So let's do it. How we are going to do it? Intelligence immediately starts to, how we are going to do it? That's material intelligence. And then comes the false ego. It gives you the power. It was maybe a crazy idea, but you are special. You can do it. Come on. Be a big boy. Yeah. It is conspiracy, people speak about conspiracy movement. But this is the real conspiracy movement. It's going on all the time. It starts with the mind Then the intelligence joins in and the false ego goes, yeah. And then you end up doing something not only stupid, but even dangerous. Just because it was an idea. I remember this beautiful t-shirt somebody printed when the communism fell down. It was, I think, it must have been a Czech guy. It was depicting a cartoon of a, Karl Marx, big beard and the mastermind of communism. But he was painted only this big, little fat man, and he was looking like almost guilty. And underneath was, sorry, it was just an idea. They defined the end of communism. And it was just an idea. Even a good sounding idea. Communism, my God, what a nice idea that is, What was the guiding line? You know what communism was? You give what you can and you take what you need. What was the result? Nobody gave anything and everybody took whatever he could. Because they forgot, we are dealing with conditioned souls. That's what they do, conditioned souls. If you are not devotee or pure devotee, you will do that. Stealing, lying, cheating, and being in illusion. Imperfect senses. Perfect equipment. So, so this is, Prabhupada exposed all this. So what is the real yoga? Yoga means control the senses, we fully agree. How? Well, Prabhupada said, how do you control your eyes? There's working senses, and there's the ultimate sense, that's the mind, that's the inner sense. And sense perception senses. Working senses means, you walk, and arms, legs, genital, all this is working. And then you have information senses, eyes, nose, taste, ear, collecting information all the time. So how do you engage with this? How do you get it under control? It's going on all the time, whatever you want. And even you think, no, I'm now in a temple, it's quite fine, I can look at Krishna and, and I'm hearing about Krishna, it's nice. No, the mind goes, I don't care. You can sit in a temple, but I will remember something else. Immediately you are in trouble. Yeah? So how do you control all this? Prabhupada gave us all the means to do it without any external physical endeavor. You don't have to push your nose and stare at the tip of the nose. And anyway, it's not possible. 5-10 minutes, out. Rather, they get compressed, Yeah? We were once in Berlin, I remember with Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj, we had a program in a yoga club. And he was quite, we were young brahmacharis both. He was a very, we don't know him very much, he doesn't come here very often. But it's a wonderful devotee. And, and he looks very, Hare Krishna had a perfect description for him. He said, he looks like an angel. But he's one of the most heavy sannyasis in his country. Very rigid. And he followed Prabhupada's policy, very rigid with himself and quite tolerant with people. That's the preaching policy. So, and he could just smile with the blue eyes, but he could say very heavy things. So I went with him to Berlin, all kinds of crazy things going on. So we were invited to a yoga club. And so we sit there, and it was a dark room. They even covered the windows, and they just had a candle in the middle, burning. And in darkness they were sitting there just, Everybody staring at the candle. And we came there with our medanga, with our box with papadams, some prasadam. So we were sitting in a corner waiting until we can say something or do something. And they were ordered. And I noticed the man sitting almost next to me, he was not looking at the candle. He looked like direction candle, but he looked at the girl sitting behind the candle. I could see it. And the atmosphere was quite loaded. It became quite sexual, actually. You could feel it. And Bhakti Bhushana Maharaj, he had his way to do it. In the middle of this deep meditation, suddenly sitting and he was going. I mean, it was the worst thing he could do. And I also burst out in laughter seeing him doing this. And we ruined the whole, the meditation was completely finished. I don't even know how the program ended up. Somehow they allowed us to make a little kirtan and we distributed some prasadam. But I never forget that moment, how that boy was just... Then he was focused on that girl completely. Big yogi! And big yogini! You know? I mean, we had lots of people like that. It was fun, quite educational. It's going, what a yoga is this? Yeah, 1 and 1 is 2. They get a baby, you know, that's what it is. 1 and 1 is the baby, yeah. But you know, you don't have to be a yogi for that. You know, it's happening all the time around us, every time, and people are not yogis. You don't have to practice yoga to get pregnant, you know that? So, you know, this is ridiculous. So be very simple, you know. When you listen to Prabhupada, it was so easy to understand these things. So Krishna consciousness is not that kind of cheating. We don't want people to cheat ourselves and we are not going to cheat anybody else. And that you get the idea when you study and listen from Srila Prabhupada. So it's not all Maya around us, it's Krishna's creation. It's worshipable. Prabhupada once took a rose, just a rose. He liked yellow roses. So he took a yellow rose and he just turned it in a finger like this. He said, can any scientist produce this? He said, can anybody do that? Even a wonderful artist, he can paint a wonderful rose, but it doesn't smell. It's not three-dimensional. Can almost create the illusion of three-dimensionality. But this, Krishna just did like this. It smells. Not only that, but Krishna's creation, his art and his paintings are reproducing themselves. That you don't find when you go in a gallery. You come in the morning and there's little pictures running around. Hey! They're reproducing themselves. They call it sometimes reproduction, that's called the copy of the painting. But that's again somebody painted. The painting is not reproducing itself, but Krishna's paintings are reproducing themselves. Not only that, but they repair themselves too. You know that 70% of diseases, supposedly I heard, are self-curing. You don't have to take any medicine, you don't have to do anything. You just, take it easy with eating, you drink water, or you fast, or whatever, and the disease will go away again. The body is just going, okay. It's called the immunity system, you know that? And who created this immunity system? You know? And what this means ultimately, the ultimate problem, even death, the breakdown of the immunity system. But the immunity system is already there, installed. Prabhupada gave example how simple, how material nature works. He said, a child is born. Immediately food is coming. Nobody is cooking. Nobody is doing this. And the child knows immediately. Called anumana. That's the first level of consciousness. You know, whatever you give to a small child, he puts it in the mouth. Keys and nails and anything goes in the mouth. You have to be careful. You know, oh boy, once my daughter swallowed a big, not peeled pistachio nut. We were like, ah! And she was like, it was gone. We're like, ah! So we went to the doctor and he said, she swallowed a big pistachio, And the doctor was laughing. He said, it's round, it's big, but it's round. It will come out on the other end, don't worry. So that was it. So that's the first level of consciousness. And it's completely logical because you have to eat to grow. So children always, So the mother is ready for that, usually. Immediately milk is coming. I mean, who arranged for that? You know? Who arranged all this? Baby born, and immediately, bam! So this is so amazing to see all this. Just the biological process of reproduction, if you consider this is so arranged. Where's the attraction between man and woman coming? I wonder myself sometimes. I think, how can a woman be attracted to such a stupid, ugly man? There is always somewhere a woman who will be attracted. They have a joke in Germany for that for every pot you find a lid. Listen, we had a guest, in the Sunday feast in Berlin. I quote now, Berlin was a very far out place. I was 2 years in that place, far out. Sunday feast was the punk movement, was at its peak. And punks, they like devotees because they have one thing in common. Punks' motto was no hope, no future. That's the, like motivating them. It's all Mayavada, existentialistic Mayavada, but in regards of the hope to enjoy this body and be happy in this world, we could agree, yeah, no hope, no future, sorry. You will not find what you are looking in the material world. And some of them actually became devotees. Because they really got, that's what it means, no hope and no fun. But it was a public which is just intolerable. Like we had one rule in a Sunday feast, no taking off shoes. Don't take off shoes. Because when they took off the shoes, no ventilation could handle that odor. So, it was disgusting. Then we have another rule, no rats. Because they all brought pets, rats. Punks always, the little rats coming out of the pocket or whatever. And they say, no, leave the rat at home. And, it was really dirty. And some of these punks were so ugly. And so, because ugliness is part of the punk movement, so they were so ugly. They were so disgusting, so dirty. But they brought the girlfriends with. And there was Miss Punk. And the lady punk, she was also looking horrible. And she thought, what a beautiful punk. She was in love with that stinky, filthy creature, And we were going, material nature, that's how it works. The principle cannot be changed. Male, female, attraction. And how does it work? Difficult to define in rational terms. The scientists announced they will find a chemical formula for falling in love. Oh, good luck with that one. Prabhupada said, it works quite simple. You have a hot frying pan and you put a piece of butter inside. You know what will happen? The butter will melt very quickly. So hot pan, that's the female, to hell, hot frozen butter coming in, melting. And he said, that's the process. You can see it everywhere happening. Prabhupada was very graphical sometimes and very clear in the analogies to make us understand. This is the working of material nature. So our process is, we are not going to stop it. This is so powerful. You cannot stop this. We regulate the whole thing. Therefore we have ashramas. That's regulation. A melting brahmachari. He's already melting. It starts here and goes in the heart, and he's already preaching only to Matajis, and to save the conditioned souls, Yeah, we saw this in action. It's really fun to watch this. You go, hey. And there's so many ladies who are so interested in spiritual life, hearing from here. You go, come on, it's the same thing again. So you cannot stop it. So we have options for this. Get married. Instead of ladies, one lady. Instead of man, one man. And then the purification starts. Of course. All the grihastas know what I'm talking about. And it's nice, it's good, it's glorious. Prabhupada said, like a gentleman. I don't want to go more in details, but somehow or other, whenever I come around and I meet some really mature, older grihasta couples, there are not many, Very, very rare. You know what happens? It commands respect. It's such a dignified position. But this is nice. We should live like dignified human beings. It just happened to me 1 month ago. I wouldn't expect it. Everybody knows I'm quite closely affiliated with Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, and he stands to me at the festival in a farm, which is at this early stage. All the girls are getting married, lots of babies running around. And he stands to me, next to me, and suddenly goes, "Look, how dignified these mothers are looking. Responsible mothers taking care of the babies. The husband's working hard, maintainers." He wrote a book, about ladies, which is nothing, that's an illustration of Vedic culture. But it earned a lot of critics, And it just a little bit, I was going, sannyasi writing a book about ladies. But he didn't write about ladies, he wrote an illustration of Vedic society, that's what he did. I wrote him, there should be another book about men. We have so much material. What is the position of a man in a Vedic society? I would call it man, machos, or maintainers or protectors. Why not? Something like that. Yeah? So this is so important in spiritual life, to be properly situated. This is all part of yoga, controlling the situation, controlling the senses, gradually purifying the senses, and focusing on the most essential thing. And that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can you focus if you are disturbed, dislocated, frustrated? It's a powerful emotions. So how can you focus on Krishna really? No, we can. We can take shelter in Krishna, Please, I'm so disturbed, help. That's good. But in order to really practice peacefully Krishna consciousness, it helps very much when we are properly situated. And Prabhupada showed us how to do that. So that's how we can actually, despite all the ever-agitating material energy, how we can actually make our life peaceful. And peaceful means become productive. And peaceful means we can help others to become peaceful. We cannot help others if we are agitated and confused. That doesn't work. You go, Krishna consciousness is very peaceful. And when you chant Krishna, you become a very peaceful man. And people go, yeah, but what about you? Yeah, nobody believes such. Even you say the right thing, people will not believe it. Because they go, who's talking here? And the first thing people see before even understanding any philosophy, before understanding anything, is the you. And they see you. And people this is one of the biggest mistakes a preacher can do, that he thinks everybody is stupid. Mm-hmm. Not at all. That's like telling again Krishna, no, you cannot give intelligence to anybody. I am the supreme intelligent one. Really? Prabhupada didn't say the word like this. Some people are so limited, they defined Krishna consciousness even by the age of their body. You know how many old trees are growing here in Croatia already? They are older like me and they are older like you, and they are not exactly the supreme intelligent beings. We know that. They are nice beings, but not bright-headed. They have no head. So old? What does it mean? That the body is old? Because I ate prasadam since 50 years, I'm the senior Vaishnava. You cannot imagine, if you count it together, how many tons of prasadam I already digested. I'm the senior Vaishnava. Really? Well, let's see. The challenges were coming. We are going to be exposed, one way or another. So this is not seniority. Seniority is seniority in knowledge. Prabhupada gives the example of Dhruva Maharaj, who was instructing his mother. Usually his opposite, should be actually opposite. But because he was superior in knowledge, Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his father. And he was a small boy. But he was far superior because he was a pure devotee and he had knowledge by the mercy of his guru. So seniority is not judged in the terms of age of the body, it's judged in a maturity of understanding of Krishna consciousness. It doesn't pay off being sentimental. Sentimental means information derived from the senses and the mind. Good luck with that one. That's a perfect way to get cheated. My senses told me and my mind confirmed that I know now. You know what? It will change. Because the change by sensual perception is changing all the time. When you are hungry, you see only food. When you have eaten, you see something else. The lusty man, he will see, Rijeka is a nice town, it's full of women. The other man, he will see, Rijeka is such a nice restaurant, I'm hungry. It's the same town, but the perception will be very different. And somebody will come to Rijeka and going, oh, that's a nice town, one can make some business here because he sees money. It's the same town, but the perception is very subjective because it depends on the type of consciousness. And a pure devotee, he will come to Rijeka and go, so what? It's another part of Krishna's creation. It's quite amazing how Krishna made this here. You go, in the Adriatic Ocean and you just come on some hill and you look over this display of islands and ocean, Those who grew up here, maybe they don't know, but when you come from Middle Europe, it's like going to movies. You go, whoa. They have a bright angle movies, where you have to look always, when you look on a movie, you have to go like this because it's abroad. So that's how I feel when I come to Adriatic Ocean. I feel it's like a bright angle movie, just go, wow. Wide scope. Who put it all there? Who arranged for this? Not Mr. Tito. He came much later. Much later. First there was Krishna, Prabhupada. One lecture so far. It was in the middle of American election. Everybody was voting for Mr. Nixon, which turned out, Prabhupada said later on, being quite embarrassing because Mr. Nixon was ending up his career with a scandal. But everybody was, Nixon, Nixon. And Prabhupada said in the lecture, we are not voting for Nixon. We are voting for the Supreme Nixon. That's the perception of a devotee. There's some question to it or some comment? Yeah.
When you read in the books of Prabhupada, he, like you said, he oftentimes he said you must find a spiritual teacher because you can't find from the books. Just when you read the knowledge, you can't get it. So that means you must be initiated, or it's not necessary.
Can somebody put it more? My hearing is not so good, but what was the essence of the whole thing?
Prabhupada is saying in his books that you have to find a teacher.
You have to find a teacher.
Yeah, so
Krishna is saying.
Does one have to be initiated?
For
The teacher?
No, the student.
the student.
Student?
Yeah.
Is the necessary to be teacher?
Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I will be there even before the teacher. I'm in your heart. And if you are serious, I'm in your heart, and you are really serious to make spiritual progress, I will help you to find a teacher. Because Krishna says, sorry, that's the condition. Nobody can approach me directly, only through a guru. That's Krishna's condition. Now, who is the guru? That's good to study and good to know. Guru is, the first qualification of a guru is that he is a guru. If somebody tells you, hallelujah, last night I had a light in the head and there was Krishna in it, I'm guru. Well, that's a cheater. We are not working on revelations. Even revelations can happen. That's possible. But the authorized process is you follow the authorized guru parampara. That means he has to have a guru. And that guru must follow the same mission and has the same message. Therefore we have Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. 3 references. Guru means the teacher, Shastra is the scripture, and Sadhu means those who realized, and basically what it means is Guru Parampara. That's the sadhus. And they are all confirming the same thing. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's how you worship him. They will tell you the same thing. Now, it can be a little bit adjusted to time and circumstances in application, but not in principle. Principle is not changing. Yeah? But that's a good. Now, that depends on you. The natural way to accept the spiritual master is that you really feel a need for it. You don't accept spiritual master, I can give some examples, for social purposes. You know, I am here chanting in a congregation. We know each other, he's chanting, she's chanting, but nobody is initiated. Okay? So, how do you become the best member of the congregation? You get initiated. Maybe if you have some money, you buy a ticket and go to India. Nobody else has money to go to India. So you come back from India. And instead of Bhakta Peter, you are Paramahamsa Das. And all the congregation goes, oh, he changed. He's Paramahamsa Das. I'm a little bit overdoing it, but this happens more often as you think. And then next week, they see Paramahamsa sitting in a bar, drinking the same beer he was drinking before. They go, how are Paramahamsas drinking beer? You know, that's not how initiation works. Personally, I say, wait. Don't rush it. Don't push it. And I know even gurus who, for being initiated, they give you 5 years waiting time. And they didn't do it all the time. But they got so many unsincere disciples that they woke up and say, hey, I became the leader of a gang of a completely, emotionally driven, unreliable people who are changing anyway, even after the initiation. Initiation is a serious thing. You commit yourself to that process, you promise. In front of Krishna. Not a joke. It's not a fashion. And Prabhupada even said, Guru is not a fashion either. Because in his time there were so many gurus. And Prabhupada said, Guru is not a fashion. He even said, Guru is not like dog. You buy yourself a special dog or a big dog. You know, yesterday you saw it, we came out of this building, there was a special dog. And everybody pays attention. Oh, such a special dog. It was a girl, she was marching with a dog and she said, yeah, this is a very special dog. It's a Siberian dog. That's not how we accept a guru. My guru is so special, he comes from Siberia or whatever, like a dog. This is old fashioned. This is done under social pressure, okay? Yeah? Or another motivation. I want this guru. You know why? He has 5,000 disciples. Must be a really big guru. So I'm joining a big guru with a big number of disciples. That means I will also become big. And I meet other disciples nowadays, they have other gurus, and they go, how many disciples have your Guru? Huh? My Guru has 5,000 disciples, and I am 5,001, the number. Of course, I never see him, I never spoke to him, but it doesn't matter, because if you have 5,000 disciples, how can you meet him? Yeah? Okay, that's a detail, but I'm a member of some big, big football team. That's how people define big in the material world, you know. It's a big man, he has so many followers. Now I could say something really, it's a joke, but some people may not laugh when I say that. In terms of number of followers, okay, Hitler was better. You know how many followers he had? And you know how dedicated they were? They were ready for him to go to Stalingrad and die. I don't think most of the disciples are ready for that. To die for the Guru? But he can die himself, but you know, I will chant Hare Krishna. You know? So the disciples of Hitler, big dedicated crew, you know. They died for him. So what does it mean? Big number of followers. And I can quote Lord Chaitanya, who said, I don't want any money, any woman, any female company, and no big number of followers. Next to sannyas is one of these things which is not recommended in Kali Yuga. And it's not because it's bad. You hear in Bhagavatam, you know, Durvasa Muni arriving and all this, thousands of disciples. Now that was a little bit a different time. In Kali Yuga, why? Even when the Guru is qualified, the disciples may not be so qualified. You can get yourself really in trouble. And you say, but we have to be merciful. I say, sure, but in a Krishna conscious way. Again, not sentimental. Merciful means to induce people to the process and make them to follow it. Not just, and then you have all kinds of, oh, this is my followers. I didn't join this movement to see it to become a nut house, crazy house. Prabhupada said, don't make it to lunatic asylum. That was his definition. So sometimes people think we have to be unconditionally merciful. No, according to Prabhupada, there was a condition. We should be merciful and try to present the process in such a way that maximum people can join in, but there is a process. There's a condition. Well, anyway, I don't want to go more into this. It can become more and more troublesome. But I don't care, but this is simple. This is what Prabhupada said. Sorry. And Prabhupada attacked this kind of understanding. So Krishna is in your heart, and there's something already, especially when somebody chants, sincerely. That's the only thing we tell people. Please chant sincerely. And things will start to happen. Krishna listens, he goes, oh, now he's chanting my name. And depends on your sincerity. Krishna knows exactly, you cannot cheat him. So he's in your heart, he knows. Oh, now he chants sincerely. Well, now we have to do something with him. So he will do two things. He will give intelligence how to find the right guru, and he will make your material life so miserable that you have no other choice than to join. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, because we always tell people, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Sometimes they come back and they go, I'm chanting Hare Krishna and getting more and more miserable. What is this? You cheated me. I go, he is chanting. That's the real thing. You know what I realize when I chant Hare Krishna? I realize I'm an idiot. It's not a very nice realization. Before I felt so good, I woke up in the morning, I was going, oh, I'm great, the sun is shining, I will take over the world. Now I am chanting, I realized I'm just a little conditioned soul. The sincere ones, they will go, good. I always had a suspicion that I'm quite stupid. That's a good realization. Now I know it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's the sincere ones. And those who want to get fooled, Krishna will also listen and go, oh, you want to become something big in a material world, something important. Well, I will send you such a cheater that he will make you feel big and feel important, and you will both go to hell. Sounds heavy, huh? But this is how it works. Birds of the same feather flock together. It's a magnetism there which is divine. It's unbelievable. People go as, this is my guru. He answered my heart. Well, the next question is, what is your heart? He has a dirty heart, you have a dirty heart. Of course you understood each other very well. But if you really strive for purity, honesty, dignity, truth, then Krishna will listen and he will go, I will send you somebody real. And you know what that real guru will tell to you? He will first attack. Guru means heavy. There's another translation of the word. He will attack the points which needed to be corrected. And those who are sincere, they will welcome it. Wonderful. It's like you go to the doctor, okay? There's two kinds of doctors. The cheating doctor will tell you, this is not so bad. Don't worry, be happy. You are quite healthy, man. And then you die. A real doctor will tell you, this is serious. We have to cut this out, we have to operate that, you have to follow this diet. And you go, what kind of violence is this? I feel so bad now. I visited the doctor, he told me the horrible things. I don't like him. That's a difference. I don't know, I came to Krishna consciousness to get operated, It's still going on. You think 50 years, no. It goes on and on and on. It's a quite a heavy operation, I always think, just something got cut out. You can test yourself in the presence of temptation. I mean, seriously, few things you cannot tempt me with anymore. I find it so stupid, so boring. If some really temptation of that sort would come in front of me, I go, why are you doing this? Don't waste your time. I have no interest in these things. But there may be some other points which I don't even know. Krishna knows. He will go, you think you are free of temptation. I will send you something very special. Look at that. And suddenly you go, this is interesting. But it happened. It happens. And it's so beautiful to watch how Srila Prabhupada starts the warning, like the light goes on, watch out, danger zone. Don't move there. This is how mercy of a guru is manifesting. He will appear in your heart to warn you. Don't. I could say very graphical illustrations to that. One of my good sisters, she told me, very nice, Mataji, she served Prabhupada very devotionally, personally. But she said, when Prabhupada was not here, when I crossed 40, I became 45 years old, 50, Maya knocked on my door. And Maya told me, you are not so old. You remember what a fun you had before you joined Krishna consciousness? You remember all the disco and, And look, are you really happy in Krishna consciousness? Not really, isn't it? Be honest. Why don't you try? How do you know it's all Maya out there? You didn't try it all out. And you are not so old. Look in the mirror. shape it up, little diet, get yourself in shape, and try it again. By that time she was 50. She said, you know what? I was ready to leave Krishna consciousness. Maya was so strong. It happens to an unprotected person. Sorry, I don't want to go into detail into it. But Maya was right over there. And I said, oh, what happened? You went out and you tried it out? You know, disco and, you know, boys. Hey, hello, boys! You know, you sometimes see these old ladies doing this. It's really embarrassing, you know. They paint themselves and they, you know, and they go, hello. They try to be 20 again. It's ridiculous. So anyway, she said, anytime I turn to the door and I want to go out and have some fun, Prabhupada was standing there. And he was going, go back. But I never made it to the door. Then I realized, I'm really stupid. I'm really embarrassing myself like anything. So I totally gave up. Now it's finished. It was so nice to hear this. This is what happens when you have a mercy of the spiritual master. He will not allow you to go out. This is, by the way, how I survived. Prabhupada burned down anything what could facilitate my material career. No hope. I'm a hopeless loser. No hope. And Maya will still come around and going, come on. For your age, you're like, let's go. And I go, okay, I have to go everything to the chiropractor, you know. It's like, the body in itself is a proof. It's a proving to me, no, just let's get old and die. In a dignified way. Maya can be so embarrassing, you know. It's just so embarrassing. This is why I feel when I meet older devotees and properly situated devotees and this is what I really appreciate. They get such a respect because they live a dignified life in Krishna consciousness. And that they think sometimes, no, we are not very Krishna conscious. Manidhar is talking now something nice, but we are actually quite in Maya. And that's a sign that they are in Krishna consciousness. Because they are introspective. And the real advanced devotee, he never thinks he is advanced. Because he can clearly see the impact of the material energy, the conditioning. You read the letters from the big acharyas, big, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and today's appearance there. So, praying next lifetime to become a worm in the house of a Vaishnava. So as a worm, he can still hear the holy name when he's chanting. These prayers are not artificial, they are real. They feel so low, so fallen. I think it was Gokisho or Jagannatha. He was taking prasadam, and the dogs came eating from the same plate. And he was like, chasing dogs. So he said, no, this is the dogs of the holy Dharma. Let them eat. And they are better like me. I am lower as a dog. It's a real humility. They mean it. So that's the examples. Okay. Something else? It's okay? So I don't know what your situation is, I don't know you, but don't rush. Just chant. And more chant. And chant. And Krishna will go, hey, he's getting serious. And then there will be all kinds of things happening in your life. That's between you and Krishna. I don't know. You have to talk it out with him. He will show you. But on a certain point, naturally people come to a point, I need more guidance, more specific guidance. We are not this body, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can read it in Prabhupada's books. Anybody can read it. But how to apply it in your life, that's the meaning to have a guru. I'm now in this situation, what shall I do? Like Prabhupada, he asked Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, what shall I do? And he gave him a very long-term instruction, but he gave him a precise instruction what to do. Prabhupada, it was not his idea. It was Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj's idea. So that's what we need a guru. An instruction for you. And bona fide guru, you know how bona fide guru is called? He's called the external manifestation of the super soul dwelling in the heart. Same voice. It's just you cannot hear the super soul maybe so clearly, and maybe we are not qualified. So Krishna sends a guru and he will reproduce, talk to you, but the super soul will tell you. That's a real bona fide spiritual. And seeing Prabhupada being empowered like this was fascinating. He could give you advice without even thinking. He was going, Prabhupada, what shall I do? And Prabhupada turned around and said, do this. Just, not always. Sometimes they asked Prabhupada to make a decision about some big project or something like that. And Prabhupada was, And then he said something. It was like making a phone call. I tell you, to see it was like, wow, he just made a phone call. And Krishna said like this. And then he was waiting, oh, okay, and we do like this. We saw Prabhupada doing this. It's very impressive. You go, wow, he just made a phone call. Krishna told him what to do. Very inspiring to do this. But Krishna can take care even of you. Yes, sure. You are his part. Krishna is concerned with his parts. So you can help him. Okay? I don't want to overdo it with somebody's conditions. Okay? Thank you for being here in the middle of the week. And I mean it as a Triyeka exception. I will never get that many people coming to a temple seeing in the middle of the week anywhere. Not the temples I know. Those devotees who are distributing books, they will be gone because they are traveling. And the congregational devotees, they are all walking basically. They cannot come on Thursday, Wednesday or that because they come back from home and they just chant the rest of the rounds and fall over, you know. Yeah, this is basically what happens. I know that lifestyle. I used to live for a little while like this myself, you know, that's why I know. But the whole day just with people who have no idea what Krishna consciousness is. Talk about, you know, the last TV series, you know. I can even give you the idea what they talk about. I don't know, still going on. Somebody here working in an office, secretary or something like that. That's a real place. 20 ladies, you know, in offices, and they go, and they talk about the last soap opera in the TV, you know, what's happening there. You know, in TV there are the soap operas, part number 225, you know. Let's see if they get married or not, you know, and the people are watching this. Let's see, it becomes like a real life for them. After a whole day having a brain mushed up, you know, working usually quite stupidifying work, then you come home and you watch TV to get the rest, you know. And what they show you in a TV, well, I didn't watch TV for a long time, but it's quite not a good news, really. You put the news on, you know. What is the news? Well, he got killed, he got murdered, they were shooting here, and the reporter goes, and here we are from the war zone. Yes, there's 5,000 dead soldiers here. Very inspiring before you go to sleep, you know. It's really good news. After a whole day of crazy work, you are listening to this. And then people sit in front of the TV, and they watch even some people becoming happy. That's possible. I don't see such, there are not such a movies anymore. But when you watch old movies, usually in old movies people become more happy. In the new movies people become more sad. That's generally what it is. It's so depressing nowadays, there's everybody, and it's just, or some cynical, sarcastic man, it's for nothing. There's no meaning in this life. Very, very inspiring TV broadcast. And then, you watch this. And then you eat something to it, just to engage the senses somehow. In America, they are really professionals on this. They have 200 channels. And you cannot watch 200 channels. But people always think, when I watch TV, I'm missing something on the other channel. So they have the remote control and then they go, and then they go, it creates like cacophony, like a salad in your brain. You just go, and so you are still frustrated. So you eat something to it. They have special TV boxes with crackers and all kinds of foul stuff you can just chew. You don't even look what you are eating. And then become totally tired when you do that. And sometimes they fall asleep. And that's the end of the day? Come on. Yeah?
I just remember now that when you spoke a few minutes earlier about chanting question. And you said that you came from work and rest of the rounds you try to chant and it's so much time, you're under stress and everything. So do you have some advice about it? Because I assume so many times when you try in that fast day, you try to focus on chanting and it's not it's not really going, and some rounds maybe you chant the other day and you're not so disciplined about
it. The principle behind the whole thing is to regulate. And for this, it's good to follow a principle. Like new people who start to chant, they go, I cannot chant 16 rounds, this is too much for me, I cannot handle this. Okay, then chant only 2 or 3, whatever. But regularly. Don't go down on that principle. Not one day 5, the next day 16, the next day nothing. Regularly. Because that also regulates the mind. Prabhupada said everything needs training. Everything can be trained. You can train yourself how to eat, you can train yourself how to sleep, you can train yourself how to chant. It's a training. It's called sadhana. It's a training. So one should strive for a regulated time, for regulated chanting, and do it all the time. And when the mind becomes more peaceful, you can increase the standard. But of course, I know that there are situations like you have work and you cannot, like example, chant all the rounds in the morning, or you have to go to the job. You try to finish in the evening if you have a certain amount fixed. So that's possible, but that I can say only in principle. I don't know the particular situation, but one can try to get more and more regulated with this. Prabhupada said clearly that the best time for quality chanting is in the morning. Yeah, because you wake up, nothing happened yet, really. And you are kind of supposedly refreshed and you can, so then you focus and chant. And if you can do that you chant this amount of rounds fixed before you do anything else, that's a kind of luxury. Yeah, that's good. And we try to do that. Initiated devotees expected 16 rounds, no compromise. So, not initiated, the principle should be established of regular chanting, regular amount of rounds, whatever one can handle. And then increase gradually. It gets easier. Like I chanted now 1 round on this beats here. For me it's just, But I have to be careful because there's another Maya coming later on. When you chant for many years, Maya goes, you don't have to pay any attention. You know, you are a good boy. You are a big devotee. Come on. Hare Rama, and suddenly you realize, oh, I chanted the rounds in 20 minutes, 16 rounds. That's a little bit too fast. And then you check on yourself and you realize, you go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. You're jumping over beats. I can give you a whole series of mistakes you can make. Then I started to chant. It happened to me all the time. Sometimes I was chanting, I was going, I'm fast today. One round, pop, pop, pop. I was finished in half an hour. 20 minutes. So many rounds, I'm really good. Then I chanted more carefully. I realized I'm jumping over the beats, just going. Bum, 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 bum. Another day I was chanting. I was going. I never get the rounds chanted today. This is too much. So slow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. But I still have 15 rounds left because I didn't move. And you got stuck on one beat, But so it happens, especially in the beginning. This kind of things, One should be always very careful, very conscious. I don't want to go more technical ways, but after some years of chanting, I start to realize, oh, that's what the Maya will do to me. She will make me feel like I'm a really great chanter, So I took a tape recorder and I recorded what I'm chanting. It wasn't very impressive. I was thinking, you think I'm chanting so nicely. Well, that's what you are thinking. The acoustic output may sound quite differently. I'm not recommending it like an ultimate method, but I recorded my chanting going, well, that cannot be me. This is really ridiculous. Prabhupada said sometimes, he writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that some of my disciples, even without not chanting, they produce some hissing sounds. But you may think I'm chanting, and you go, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna. I can give a different kind of chanting. Bomb chanting, bomb chanting, bombing. Boom. So you go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's when you are tired. Tired brahmachari. And it's interesting, we used to check each other, That's a good thing, brahmachari should do that, they should watch. Hey, Prabhu, you're falling asleep. You know what wakes up first? It's the false ego. You go, Prabhu, you're sleeping. And you go, I am meditating. It's the first thing which wakes up, is the false ego. He's not even awake, but the false ego already woke up. So it's good to check. Because we are thinking sometimes that we are chanting. Thinking, it can cheat you. Let's hearing. To be always hearing. So it's the technical things. How to guard your chanting. Regarding the amount and the time, that has to be, Prabhupada didn't give actually. Ultimately a fixed time. He said 16 rounds a day for the initiated ones. For the not initiated one, he said, principle, keep even certain amount of rounds, but keep it. Don't change it. And then it increase. Otherwise, I don't see any need to go further in some big japa analysis, like in a chirurgical way, analyze the holy name. Shall we go Hare Rama or Rama? What is more effective? I heard things like this. I was going, why are they doing this? Operating on the holy name, just. And then there are those who goes, no, it's the emotion which comes. You have to go, Hare Krishna, Krishna. You feel the tears coming in your eye. I call it not serving the holy name, but milking the holy name. You know, like you milk a cow. Let's squeeze something out of it. Some emotion, damn it. It's a wrong approach, completely wrong approach. We are the servants of holy name. And why do we do that? Well, Krishna told us, Krishna likes it, Prabhupada likes it, and that's it. Why speculating more? And we should be careful, it's Krishna's name. I always give the practical example. Well, just imagine somebody chants your name. I don't know name. Let's pick up a name. I hope it's not too real. Like Monica. I chant. Hare Monica, 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 Hare Hare. Monica, Monica. And then I go, Monica. And you sit there and you go, my name is Monica. What are you doing? And you go, well, I'm glorifying your name. Monica. It's not a glorification, it's an insult. Now just imagine what Krishna has to tolerate when we are chanting Hare Krishna. So Supreme Personality, the Godhead is hearing. They are glorifying my name. Hare Krishna. And what he must think. But he's so merciful, he goes, yeah, it sounds horrible, but they are chanting, it's okay. Krishna is so amazing. But we should be aware it's Krishna's name. So we would be insulted if somebody is misshaping our name. Then why should we do it to Krishna? And then there was another group of devotees, they took it to the extreme, said, we should chant correctly. I saw them with the mirror going, Hare Krishna. Like going to the dentist, you know. Hare Rama, 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 Hare. These ideas were all, I saw so much what they can do to the holy name, you know. It's like, I don't need when Prabhupada said you need a mirror for chanting. Articulate properly. I mean, I can go for hours on this. You know what a nonsense in the last 50 years. Somebody always gets some idea. You know, I saw a devotee who had carried in some heavy amplification department. You know, and he had the headphones and a mic, and he going, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. I mean, he must have been deaf by the 16 rounds. They don't hear one damn thing. It's such an amplification going on. You know, good hearing. And when the batteries were empty, he was finished. He couldn't chant. I mean, this is all a little bit artificial, you know. Why not just stay normal? Just keep it as it is, like Prabhupada did. You know, I feel so tired when I sit down and chant. You know what Prabhupada said? And stand up. Simple solution to the problem. Stand up. Simple. Like personally, I have to admit, I would have a hard time to sit down and chant 16 rounds. I think, oh my God, one day I will be invalid. How will I chant? But I guess Krishna must help me, because I have to walk. And this is considered actually quite chanting more in passion mode. But I have to, get concentrated. This is just my nature. I don't want to go into my nature. I'd rather speak about the holy name. But this is just like that. So I try the best I can. I do like that. Everybody knows and should, but the principle is the same. We should concentrate. And the mind will do bong, bong. He will revolt. You know how to treat the mind? There was a good analogy. I heard one of my godbrothers using it. I really always remember that. The mind is like a crazy passenger. And when you are driving car, you focus on driving. When you are chanting, you like to focus on chanting. So you are focusing, driving. And the passenger, let's say it's a very, I don't want to be too specific now, but let's say it's somebody who you know very well, and we have a friendly relationship, but who has a very uncontrolled perception. So you know what it does to a driver when you drive and the man or lady or whatever sitting next to you goes, "Hey, look over there!" And you go, what happened? He goes, "Oh, there was a nice tree." And you go, "Come on, I'm driving. I have to focus." So you try to explain to such a person, "Don't disturb me. Don't yell like this. Don't disturb. I'm driving. I have to be paying attention." Okay. The mind will not argue. No, it's okay. 2 minutes later, "Hey, look over there!" And you go, "I told you, I'm driving. It's dangerous. Don't disturb me like this." And the mind goes, okay. But a few minutes later, he will do the same thing. "Go, wow! Look at over there." And you know what? The best what you do? Just completely ignore it. You are the driver. He is the one sitting on a passenger seat. So whatever he does, if he sleeps, screams, or whatever does, you drive. This is how you treat the mind. Just ignore him. And when you change sincerely, Krishna will give you such an overlook. He will make you really realizing you are not the mind. And you are not the body. You know that? You are the driver. With Krishna's assistance, of course, we know that. So you just laugh. I had one good brother. You know him here. He is also coming around. He told me, I wanted to really chant purely. I went to Govardhan. And I was sitting at Govardhan, chanting 60 rounds a day. And I chanted. And I felt such a... He is very attached to chanting. Okay? And then I stood up by the end of the day, chanting the whole day in Govardhan. And you know what I remembered? The last rock concert with Rolling Stones I joined before I joined this movement. And you know what I did? I just laughed. I was going, what are Rolling Stones doing on Govardhan? Ha ha ha. This is what the mind can do to you. So you can think whatever you... And you know what the mind will do gradually? He has no brain. Because intelligence is another department. The mind has no brain. Just recording machine. Okay? So when you punch him with the Maha Mantra and you all the time, day after day, you stupid idiot, you will listen now. And you train him like that, you know what he will do? He will chant too. He's just recording, you know. Oh, he's chanting all the time, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. And he becomes your friend. It's possible. It's a training. You have to be just on him. No. And he always goes, it's a good idea, let's do it. And you go, no, it's a not good idea. That's intelligence. Srila Prabhupada said this movement is only for intelligent people. Because intelligence goes, yeah, it's an idea, but not a good one. Because intelligence can discriminate. That's the function of the intelligence. Not serve the mind. The function of the intelligence is to discriminate. No. This is not good. Prabhupada said, that's it. And the mind goes, okay, I know what he said, but it's just an idea. You have to consider the dialogue, you know, constantly going on. Prabhupada said in one lecture, he said, doesn't matter. Brahmavadis, it's a serious followers of the impersonal path, not Mayavadis, Brahmavadis, and Bhaktas, they all think, oh no, the mind again. Anybody trying sincerely to progress on this spiritual path will encounter that big enemy. He's always there. Cannot get rid of him. And at night, then he has a feast. You know, you are sleeping. The intelligence is weak, and the mind goes, boom. I will paint for art pictures. Did you ever saw you can chant. Remember still, because you chant all the time. But you will dream about chanting dinosaur. You wake up and you go, what a stupid thing, chanting things, what is this? Because the mind just puts things together, you know. with no discrimination. You remember your grandmother, and maybe you saw a shark. You can dream you were swimming and there was a shark, he had head like your grandmother. You know, he was like, he makes this collage always in the mind. He's patching things together, you know. No discrimination, no taste, no etiquette, nothing. Prabhupada used a very heavy graphical example. And he used it publicly, so I can quote it. He said, just imagine what the mind can do to you. You sleep and you dream about a woman. And then there's a physical reaction. This is how powerful mind can be. There's no woman, there's nothing. You're sleeping. But you sleep, there's a physical reaction. This is, Prabhupada gave that example several times. So, you know, he said, this is how heavy mind can be. So careful with that guy. This is a little bit demanding, yeah. We are always watching, where is he? Where is he? What is he saying? And the mind goes, I'm here, hello, ooh. But I tell you quite frankly, it gets better. When you just, year after year, and you just do it. Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said, and there's reading, hearing, chanting. We have so many ways to fill up the mind, you know. And he will gradually surrender. He goes, okay, then I have to become a Hare Krishna. You know? It's possible. If I can do it, you can do it. Come on. I always wondered. I saw all of the devotees. They sleep, wake up and give a lecture. I was going, how can they do that? I sleep and I wake up and I had to chant always, you know, Hare Krishna. No, today I will not become a demon. No, no, no. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. My mind was just, do you remember? But now I can do it. You wake me up midnight and I just give a lecture. How can I do that? Because I'm so intelligent? No, I'm not intelligent. Because that idiot got a little bit trained up. You know, because, and therefore it's so important to strategically surround him with Krishna consciousness. Like evening time. That was for brahmacharis, you know, brahmachari ashram, evening time, before going to sleep. Because somehow the evening, the mode of passion comes up. So, you know, so the brahmacharis, you know, drinking some milk and going to sleep. No, talking. Hello, Prabhu. You know what I did before I joined Krishna consciousness? It's brahmachari katha before you go to sleep. You know, and what you do? You dream about that garbage. And what you have in the head when you wake up, the same garbage. So Prabhupada said in the evening, we read Krishna book. And Prabhupada said, in my childhood, every evening we had meetings and somebody read Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita, or Ramayana, very popular, you know. And he said, Prabhupada, then we were going to sleep and we were dreaming about Ramayana. It's a strategy, the mind will do that. He's just a recording guy, you know. So you give him recording Ramayana, he will replay Ramayana. So one has to be like this, strategically surrounding this. What you do in the evening, you may like to remember in the morning. So it's like, you know, one has to attack him and surround him. And then chanting, yeah, that becomes very vivid. When you try to chant sincerely, you suddenly realize, oh no, I have a mind. And he is pretty loud. That's a good realization. That means you are doing something right. Because most people don't even know they have a mind. They are like animals. Really. How do you explain to a dog he has a mind? You just go, what mind? But he has a mind. You know, dogs are even dreaming. It is so, you know, dogs, they are dreaming. I'm running. They are sleeping. You ever saw dogs doing that? I have experience. So, though he has also mind, but he doesn't know it. And he has no chance to know it. He will do what his senses are telling him, he will do what his mind are telling him. He's an animal. But as a human being, we can go, okay, I know it's happening, but I don't have to be part of it. Thank you very much for the contribution. Bye-bye. I'm keeping on chanting, Hare Krishna. Leave me alone. Okay? Yep. Srila Prabhupada ki
Manidhar Prabhu ki
jai.